As always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this video from. Now, from my last one, I haven't posted for a good while, but I should be in Turkey now, getting these things all done, as I said in the last video. However, here's an update as to why I'm sitting in my car and I'm not in sunny Turkey. So the reason being is I've been sick and I've been in hospital, and I'm ashamed of the NHS, and I never thought I'd say that. So I had a week of not being well. It started on the Monday and Tuesday. I had a really bad headache. So bad headache. I mean, I don't get migraines. I get headaches like everybody. I don't get migraines, but I've got friends who get migraines, and excuse me, they're really bad. And this was for 2 days, and then I didn't go out for those 2 days, and I went out in the around 6 o'clock tea time, day 2, specifically to get some Nurofen headache tablets, which I got. Then when the next day, day 3, I felt really bad. Just the headache had eased. It wasn't severe, but it was just a headache. Then day 4, I hadn't eaten for 3 days. I felt really bad. I hadn't eaten for 3 days. Then on day 4, and excuse me trying to get breath, I will explain what's going on. And then on day 4, excuse me, day 4, I was vomiting, but I was just vomiting liquid, because that's all I was doing. For day 4 now, all I'd done was drink water and drink cups of tea, because I just, number one, I just didn't feel like I could cook anything, and number 2, didn't want to eat anything. Then on day 5, number 1, Paul, my best friend, rang me up, and it was early in the morning. It was, I don't know, maybe 8 in the morning, something like that. And I couldn't breathe when I was speaking to him. I felt like crap, and it was day 5. Felt like crap, and I couldn't talk. I really, honestly, I couldn't get me voice out because I couldn't breathe. So then him and his wife, because he had me on speaker, he went, listen, all the years I've known you, and his wife said this, I've known you when you're ill. I've never known you like this. You need to ring 111. Long story short, I rang 111. Went through a diagraph, a catalogue of questions of what they ask you. Unbelievable. And following those questions, the lady on the end of the phone says, right, we're going to send an ambulance out to you. So I said, look, I don't need an ambulance, blah, but being the man and all the rest. I don't want to. Long story short, and Paul, by the way, he said, have you got food? I said, well, no. So Paul had then gone and got me some eggs, bacon, bread, blah, 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 because I hadn't eaten for 5 days to have something to eat. So in that process of Paul going to buy the food and me on the phone to this 111 place, then the ambulance turns up, and within a few minutes of the ambulance turning up, Paul turns up. So they come in the house with the bags and the gear, and they put all these bloody things on your monitor and your heart and everything else, and they're listening to your chest and everything. And the top and bottom of it is, they said, look, there's something going on with your heart. That's what's causing that you can't breathe. you need to go to hospital. I'm like, oh, come on, really? Paul was there, and so I get in the ambulance and off I goes. I haven't been in the hospital for God knows how many years. Years and years and years. So gets out the ambulance and he puts me in the corridor. So I'm in the corridor and there's beds in front. Put me on the bed and there's beds in front of me. Excuse me. In the corridor. So then this nurse, she came and she said, right, what we're going to do is we're going to send you for an ECG. And then after that ECG, you're going to go and take a seat in reception in the waiting area of accident and emergency. And then we'll call you through. Okay. Maybe 20 minutes later, they come and got me, took me for an ECG. And then they said, right, we'll change. You're not going to sit in reception. We're taking you straight into a cubicle in A&E. So it goes into this cubicle, puts me on these heart monitors and everything else. And I never knew. Apparently, your heart's supposed to beat between 60 and 100 beats per minute. Well, mine was 150, 160 beats per minute. So nearly double and more than double of your 60 beats per minute. So I'm panicking. I'll be honest with you. Okay, I'm panicking because every time on this machine, your heart goes to above 120 beats per minute. The alarms go off, and it all turns into orange warning lights with alarms, just like this. Because the videos, look at this. See, look, the most this should be is 100. And then, look at it, all the alarms going off, the orange, everything's flashing orange, the alarm's 145, 147, 148, and you see this beat per minute should be between 60 and maximum 100. And as you can see, my heart's beating a lot faster, and they don't know why, and obviously there's a problem. And this is what's causing temperatures, and this is what's causing me to vomit, and look, 149 now. Oh goodness. The maximum it should be is 100. And mine's going crazy. So then I'm panicking because 90% of the time this alarm's going off. Okay? So I must have been there in this cubicle. I must have been there. Oh, well, this is something else. So they come to me. So this is I must have got took to the hospital 9 o'clock in the morning. 1 o'clock in the afternoon, ish. The woman comes around and says, what would you like for your tea, for your dinner in the night time? I said, what have you got? She went, A, B, C, D, E. I said, I'll have fish and chips, you know, love. I'll have fish and chips. Okay, took me order fish and chips. So about 5:30, 6 o'clock come. I'm still there in A&E in this cubicle. Alarms. She come to me, she said, oh, we've run out of fish and chips. Do you want a sandwich? What? No. What? No. Don't forget, I had net in 5 days. No, I don't want a sandwich. But how can you order? They come to you for an order and then you run out of the order. Unbelievable. So it must have been 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. I don't know. I don't know by this time. I'm just panicking. this alarm. All flashing orange on the machines, watching the numbers going up and up and up. So the doctor come, lovely guy, really nice guy, really, really nice, calm, really nice guy. He's asking all these questions, blah, blah, blah. And he says, look, from the ECG and the tests we've done and whatever else, we think you've got an infection or you've had an infection. And this is why your heart's racing, because it's fighting that infection. So I want to send you for more tests. I want you to have x-rays of your chest. Because of this severe headache, I want you to have a CT scan of your head. Blah, blah, blah. So off it goes, x-rays of your chest. In the little the machine, the lying down, CT of the head. He comes back some hours later and he says, okay, starts asking me more questions. Look, we took all blood tests and everything. Your blah, blah, blah's up. Your blood pressure's out the water. You've got liquid on your lungs. Your heart's going crazy. But we don't know what's causing it. This is wrong and this is not right. And this level of your blood test, I don't know what he's talking about. You know what I mean? He said, so he's asking loads of questions. So he said, I want more blood tests. And he tested me because then he said, have you been anywhere? Because it's showing you've got an infection. All these things in your blood, but we can't tell what the... I said, well, I've been in Thailand for 3 months. When did you come back? I told him, he went, right. So then he said, we want to test for more thus. So they tested for HIV. They tested for AIDS. They tested for every sexually transmitted disease there is. And lots of more other tests with blood tests because of Thailand. So then he puts me in a ward. He said, right, you got to go to a ward. So off it goes to a ward. And I'm in that ward, I'd say 15 minutes. And then they come to me again. And they went, right, I'm on a drip by then. I've got a drip in. And this is day 2 of the hospital or day 3, I don't know. Before I got to the ward. And then he said, right, we've had the results of these other blood tests now, some more results. And because of this liquid that's in your lungs, we need to take it off this drip, and I'm going to inject these 2 big syringes to get rid of the liquid in your lungs. Okay, off you go. So they did that. Then they come and said to me, you're also in the wrong ward. You've come to an observation ward and you need to be in a clinical ward. Okay. Off he takes me then to another ward. So I'm in this other ward. And in between all of this, they'd come back to me and said, right, look, we actually want a CT scan of your chest, not the x-ray that we've had. We want you to have a CT scan. We need to see more in depth because it may be we may need to shock your heart with electric shock to bring it back to go normal. Okay. Then the morning comes and the nurse comes to me, wakes me up. I'd actually managed to fall asleep. Wakes me up and says, you can go home. We're discharging you. I'm like, okay, now, what? What? You're discharging me? Okay. Still feel like shit. My heart's still going. I still can't breathe like I can't now. But I was worse with the breathing. Okay. Well, obviously, I gets myself up and off I go. I rings a taxi and I come home. Oh, but she said to me, you need medication. But the medication's got to come from the pharmacy, so it can take 5-6 hours for your medication. Here's the telephone number of the ward. Ring up after 6 o'clock tonight. And if it's on the ward, you can come and collect it. Thank you. Okay, bye-bye. Comes home, 10 o'clock in the morning, I think it was, something like that. Rings up for the medication. Oh, it hasn't come. This is 7 o'clock at night. It hasn't come. We've got your number. I'll ring you when it comes. Okay. No one rang me. So the next morning, I ring up the hospital again. Hello, it's blah, blah, blah. For my medication, onto the ward. Oh, it hasn't come. This is the next day. Give me 10 minutes and I'll ring you back. And this is the nurse that discharged me. Okay. 10 minutes to 15 minutes later, she rings me back. And again, the nurse who discharged me. She went, hi, Chris, I'm really sorry. But you were discharged incorrectly. We shouldn't have discharged you. What? You needed to get as a CT scan on your chest. And you needed to get these other things done. And then it was going to decide, the doctors were going to decide what they were going to do with you. Excuse me. Okay, so what do you mean I shouldn't have been discharged? I said, because, so what you're telling me is, the reason the ambulance brought me in for, me heart racing and I can't breathe. The reason I've been put onto 2 different wards and sat in A&E for 2 days, with monitors all over me and doctors coming round me, is because of me heart and I can't breathe. I still can't breathe and I can still feel me heart fucking like the wacky races. And you're now telling me you've discharged me incorrectly and I shouldn't have been discharged. So, and there's no medication. So what happens now? Well, it wasn't me that discharged you. I didn't discharge you. It was the staff nurse who told me to discharge you. I don't really give a toss who's told you to discharge me. What happened? And the next minute, this doctor comes. Hang on. And she puts the doctor on the phone. And this woman doctor comes on the phone and says, we're really sorry. What's happened shouldn't have happened. I'm going to send an email today. And within a week, you're going to have a letter to go to a heart specialist. They'll decide what to do. So I said, hang on. I'm discharged when I shouldn't have been. I'm exactly the same now as I was when the ambulance brought me in. You don't know what's wrong with me. You don't know what's caused it. I've still got all the same problems. Well, if you feel this way, then go to A&E. I said, you want me to come to A&E? When I was there, when the ambulance took me, I seen a sign on the door of A&E saying there's an 18-hour wait minimum. You want me to come back to A&E and sit there for a minimum of 18 hours. And you know what? I just lost it and I hung up the phone. Fuck you, and hung up the phone. So I'm waiting for this letter to come now, hopefully this week. Or something doesn't get worse. Because I don't want to go and sit in that A&E. But what an absolute pile of shit that this NHS has gone to. Honestly. What an absolute pile of shit. And another reason I'm getting out of this country. So, wait for the next episode. Will I still be here waiting for the appointment? Will I be in Turkey getting me canashes done? You'll have to wait and see, because I don't know. I'm going for a cup of tea. Thanks for watching. Until the next one, take care.